This is Reddy from Narayana Techniques. So in the previous video in overview of project management and life cycle, we just given that what is abstract and purpose of abstract, objectives of the abstract, existing proposed system, number of modules, and SRS, that is software requirement specifications. Now in our present video, we are going to talk about in overview of project management, how to creating of a database and presentation, business layers, and integration of the application or a project here. So what is mean by database? So whenever we are going to developing an application, we may be required a different kind of things. That is a one is a part of database, how to creating database, what is the purpose of database, how many tables are required, and then second one is presentation layer, that is called user layer, and another one is called logical layer, that is called as business layer here. And after completion of these three layers, that is database, presentation, and business layers, we should be able to integrate all kind of things here. So that is called we are going to discussing in our present video. Now in the first one is called as a database layer here. In this database layer, first we should create a database designing here. So what is mean by database? Database is nothing but a collection of tables. So that is organization of the data, that is a collection of tables. So we should be design, that is creating database. Once we create a database, then we should be analyze that the number of tables which are required according to our database, that is in our project here. The next one is called as establishing relations between the tables here. So those relations may be primary key relations, maybe foreign key relations, so whatever the relations are required between within a table or between the tables here. So that is constraints has to be established between a single table or between the two or more than two tables here. So then next one is called as preparation of ER diagrams, that is nothing but entity relation diagrams between the tables, that is one-to-one relation or one-to-many relation, many-to-many relation, or many-to-one relation. Whatever the relations are required between the tables, that is that should be established or prepare the ER diagrams in our project specifications. Next one is creating stored procedures. So what is mean by stored process? Stored processes are precompiled methods or precompiled functions or precompiled procedures here. So whenever we require same kind of logical queries, whatever the queries, SQL queries, if it is required more than one time is repeated, such kind of queries, one or more SQL queries, whatever it is, there will be going to putting in a procedure. So that procedure, once we compile this one, we can be called n number of times from the presentation or user or business logic layers here. So that is a procedures is major important key role in the development of applications in database session here. So that is in database locations, after creation of tables, then you should be create the stored process, or it is a functions which are required, or triggers which are required, or packages which are required according to your application specifications here. So either stored processes or functions, or it is a triggers, or it is a packages, whatever you require, that should be created in our database location. Then next one is called creating scripts for database objects, so generating scripts for database objects here. So next one is called as procedures of backup and restore databases here. So this is backup is another kind of important things here, and restoration of a database is also another important thing here. So once you are going to creating the database backup you have to be create to maintain the backup in case if any time that backup database has been lost, then you can restore again that kind of databases here. So that's why you have to be take the backup for this database mechanism, and whenever and wherever it is required, again you can restore this database here. So data is an important factor. Data is an important factor to designing or to do any kind of thing here. That is the reason when you're developing an application, database is one of the most important fact to do any kind of project development or any kind of application development. So that's why this is one of the key role in the project development here. You should be analyze so the things which are required to be developing according to your application, that is after creation of database, how many tables are required in our application, what are the relations are there between the tables, and you should be analyzed that the ER entity relations are there between these tables mechanism, and generating, creating the stored procedures mechanism or scripts of the database objects. This is one of the most important fact, because data is an important fact to do any kind of task, any kind of work here. That is the reason you should be first major concentrate on the database layer here. So after creation of this database layer here, then the next one is called as a presentation layer here. So what is meant by presentation layer and how to create this presentation layer? So the next one is called here presentation layer. What is presentation? Presentation is layer is nothing but user interface here. That is user presentation layer here. So this is also one of the most priority in application or project development here. In this presentation layer mechanism, so if it is a web application, that is how to design a website. What is meant by website? Website is nothing but a collection of web pages. Those web pages may be static web pages or it may be the dynamic web pages here. That is creating web pages. How to creating web pages? That is you can use the HTML mechanism, working with the dynamic HTML mechanism, working with the CSS nothing but cascading style sheets mechanism, or working with the JavaScript mechanism, or working with server side code mechanism, debugging an application. So when you, the HTML is majorly will be used to be designing of web pages here, and cascading style sheets will be used to be providing the various kind of properties to your HTML tags, because the HTML tags are having only limited number of properties, but you can apply various types of styles to your HTML tags, that is by using the cascading style sheets, that is called as CSS mechanism. And next one is while developing or while designing the web pages, you can also use the JavaScript. The JavaScript is one of the scripting programming language that will be used both either in the client side mechanism or it is in servers. That is a validations of your applications, that is a validation of your whatever username or password mechanism, or validation of your PIN number, or validation of your Aadhaar card number, or validations of any ATM card number, or validations of any debit card mechanism, or it's a credit card mechanism. Whatever validations, validation of email IDs mechanism, validation of inputs, whatever the things are there, this kind of validation things will be going to developing by using the JavaScript here. Then working with server side code mechanism. This server side code mechanism will be going to developing according to your languages. That is if it is a Java, you will be going to using either JSP or the servlets programming. If it is a .NET, we'll be going to using ASP.NET. The code behind language is called as server-side programming language, is called as C#.NET or is a VB.NET mechanism. That is to be developing the server-side programming. Then after that, after creation of the web pages, you should be debug an application, whatever you develop or whatever design a website here. Then after that, you just try to create the flow charts or sequence diagram or DFT diagram or EML diagram, use case diagram, activity diagram or collaboration diagrams. Whatever diagrams are there, that is the workflow of your application, that is in the presentation layer. You should be develop the design diagrams, that is use case diagrams, activity diagrams or sequence diagrams or collaboration diagrams, or whatever the diagrams which are required as per your application development, that you have to be created. Then the next layer is called your business layer here. So after creation of a database layer and as well as a presentation layer, the next you should be concentrate on the business layer. In this business layer, most of the things will be going to providing the logical things. So those logical things may be commonly reusable logics, or it is a commonly more times it is required, whatever logics are there, those logics will be going to placing into the business layer. So working with business layer will be going to, if it is a .NET, you will be going to creating an assembly. Assembly is nothing but a collection of classes or collection of interfaces mechanism. Will be going to putting in one assembly, whatever name collection of namespaces, or namespaces nothing but collection of classes or interfaces. Once you create an assembly, that it can be reused wherever it is required and whenever it is required here. According to Java, it is going to creating as a packages mechanism. What is meant by package according to Java language is called as package is nothing but collection of classes or interfaces, or it's a sub packages mechanism. Once we develop a package in Java language, that can be reused wherever it is required and whenever it is required here. So that is called as creating the commonly which is required. Whatever the logic which is commonly required in our application, those kind of logical things or those kind of classes will be going to putting in one assembly, or it is a one package as per your language specification, as per your language supportable things. Then next one is called your business access layer. This is called as BAL, is a business access layer. Then next one is called data access layer. So business access layer will be used to be used or to be reusing the business logical things. Or data access layer will be used to be accessing of the database things, that is a database related queries here. So this is another most important thing in the business layer process here. And once we develop that is a database presentation and business layer, after completion of all these three layers, then the next one is called as integration of the application, that is creating class diagrams. Once it is completed, then next one is called integration of the application. So in integration of application, website integration, that is whatever the collection of web pages you have been made in the previous that is presentation layer, those websites you may be required to be make a link between one web page to another web page. Those kind of things you should be integrate between one web page to another web page in the website integration application development. Then there is a front end pages. Front end pages are nothing but presentation pages. Then business layer or business rules. So whatever the common business logics which are required in more times, that should be linked or that should be integrated between one location to another location. Then another one is called as integration of database, interaction of database layer, that is called as the data access layer mechanism, that is to be integrated in the next thing requirement here, that is front end pages integration, business layer or business rule integration, interaction of database layer mechanism. And so whatever these four things, that is called as database layer and as well as presentation layer, and then after that whatever we given that database presentation, business layer, database layer, and after that integration layer. So this is the most important facts in the application development. So you may be first concentrate on database layer, then presentation layer, then think about the business layer. Once we complete these three layers, then you just try to be integration of all these things according to your project requirement specification here. So this is a way you can follow to be developing of your application. So users, if you like this video, please like and share, and for more updated videos, please subscribe our channel. Thank you one and all.